Hello, I'm Andrew Light. Today I'll be discussing the history of Presbyterianism in America. The father of Presbyterianism is John Knox, circa 1513 to 1572. He was born in Scotland and ordained in the Catholic Church as a priest. He was converted to Protestantism by George Wishart, who was later executed for preaching his Protestant beliefs. John Knox escaped from Scotland and returned multiple times. During one of his times in mainland Europe, he discipled under John Calvin and developed a very Calvinistic doctrine. He came back to Scotland and led a successful revolt against the Catholic Church in Scotland. Many of the immigrants to the Americas from Scotland and Northern Ireland were Presbyterians. Presbyterianism is so named because of the form of church government by representative bodies known as presbyteries. Early Presbyterians were strict Calvinists and followed the Westminster Confession of Faith and the Catechisms of 1647. Presbyterian immigrants to the United States, one of the most notable ones is Francis McKemey. He was also known as the father of American Presbyterianism. He founded the first Presbyterian congregation in America at Snow Hill, Maryland in 1684. He also established the first presbytery in Philadelphia in 1706, and later he was integral in helping establish the Synod of Philadelphia in 1717. Not long after that was established, disputes arose between the various congregations, mostly over confessional theology and church polity. In 1729, the Synod reached an agreement, a compromise known as the Adopting Act, which was not completely successful and was a harbinger of things to come. During the First Great Awakening, there were further divisions within the Presbyterian Church, as many considered revivalism a threat to church order. People took sides and were called either New Side or Old Side Presbyterians. The two sides split in 1741. One of the New Side Presbyterians was John Witherspoon, who was the president of Princeton College, which was founded by the New Side to train their clergy. He was also the only clergyman to sign the Declaration of Independence. Bradley Longfield points out that one of the key ways that Presbyterians sought to affect the culture here in America was through the establishment of colleges. He also notes that Presbyterian colleges were the main influence in the importation of the Scottish common sense realism as a philosophy in the 19th century. In 1758, the two sides reconciled and formed the Synod of New York and Philadelphia. As D.G. Hart states, in 1787, the Synod of New York and Philadelphia appointed a committee to prepare a revised edition of the Westminster Confession of Faith and larger and shorter catechisms for the proposed creation of the General Assembly and its Constitution. He further notes that subscription to the Westminster Standards has been a heated debate and repeated point of debate throughout colonial Presbyterian history. The revision was completed in 1788. Hart posits that in one fell swoop, with the 1788 revision of the Westminster Confession, the American Presbyterian Church swept away almost 2 centuries of politics. Soon after that was the Second Great Awakening. A couple of notable Presbyterians in that time were Lyman Beecher and Charles Finney. In 1810, one of the pro-revivalist groups in Kentucky broke away from mainline Presbyterianism to form the Cumberland Presbyterian Church. Later, during the 1850s and 1860s, slavery was the main issue and ended up causing a divide between Northern and Southern Presbyterian groups. Over the next 40 years, there were many mergers between the various Presbyterian groups. This also came with a price. In 1903, the Presbyterian Church USA modified the Westminster Standards to soften Calvinistic doctrines. Mark Knoll points out that the fundamentalist modernist debates eroded the general influence of Protestantism in American life. Mainline Presbyterians continued to move away from their traditional beliefs from the past. Compromises in theological integrity allowed more liberal ideas to become standard. More recently, debate over homosexuality, including allowing homosexual clergy, has caused even further divisions. In conclusion, from a sound theological beginning, the Presbyterian Church established themselves in America and tried to affect the culture. Bradley Longfield notes that American culture has profoundly shaped Presbyterians. Robert Hall sums it up well, stating that perhaps the most significant pattern within the Presbyterian Church in America has been the continuing tension between strict and broad interpretation of Presbyterian standards. This tension has been a part of the American Presbyterian history ever since organized Presbyterianism was established in this country, and I would have to agree with that. From the course guidelines, it is clear that man is an image bearer of God, yet fallen and sinful. And this is only made so much clearer through the decline of the Presbyterian Church since the early days. Unfortunately, compromises in their theology began to splinter the denomination into what it is best known for today, and that is liberal theology. Thank you.